World Combat Sports. For those of you fight fans who distinctly follow the sport religiously, yes, I find it imperative to keep you highlighted on the rising superstar Joshua Greer Jr., alias Don't Blink. See, I see him as a boxing poker hand that will never fold under pressure. How do we staple the tag of greatness on a fighter without the actual solidified credentials? Hear me out, fight fans. Most of what we know as we cover the sport is there has to be merit in underlining the definitive tagging pedestal. What happens when it comes to anchoring a fighter's name as a potential great while he's still actively pursuing weighted badges of those successes? I'm not worrying about others co-signing my proactive narratives. Joshua Greer Jr. is a front runner to this entire broadcast. I repeat, Joshua Greer Jr. is a front runner to this entire broadcast. Hailing from Chi-Town, the city clouded in its daily ominous warfare, hosting a vengeful win-loss record when it comes to surviving the rounds. That's in a literal sense. As Greer Jr. was on the grind in his life, I sensed in my readings he was figuring out the complexities that correlates with maturity. Those contrasting behaviors mesh the intellect with his esteemed street smarts, meaning there were probably times that the streets messaged his instinctiveness, that his next decision wasn't a good idea, but the acclimation to the environment may have appeased his comfort zone just enough to continue reciprocating the grind. For many, as Greer Jr., who were blessed to breach those commonalities of the street life confinements, gas forward in their journey with positive mantras to encourage those still trying, bantering that it's absolutely possible for them to excel past those distant memories, enveloping a success story all their own. Because let me tell you, the lines of departure are tough. The rigors are rugged. Someone didn't give up on Greer Jr., and he never capitulated that on himself. No matter the numbers in the support system, it can sometimes divide to the lowest fragment of reality, which diamonds the most precious nugget of advice. Greer Jr. initially, by force, visited the Four Corner Spear Boxing for a change. Garfield Park, banner that would option his aggressive relief in wishful thinking to come join a sport that permits you to inflict pain for wages. That's doing it the right way. After soothing the initial hiccups, a radius of attention broadened. One can assume he's good. Okay, we might have a fighter here. Wait a minute. He can box with the best on deck. This is all absent of an expected amateur pedigree. Greer Jr. turned professional. That's grown man decision. Many would banter that the change was imminent, not just for him, but in providing for the cradle of love he cared for deeply. I have an effigy of pending greatness on the front side of my mental telepathy in watching Greer Jr. box. I ask you to review his all-around skill set. Technique, speed, elusive defense, dogmatic offensive delegation, slick, close quarters infighting, strategic adjustments, sustaining lethal precision, his dangerous counter-punching etiquette, and a non-teachable trait, heart of a tenacious savage. The sport has more than the average boxer here, laddering to new heights in one of the toughest combat sports in the world. But he's proven the turnstile to the sport will ever so often produce the imperfect entry of a future superstar as Greer Jr. His mental toughness is his sharpening steel. A cerebral psyche, people, that is tough to deal with when he genuinely enforcing a physical reckoning upon his opponents. Soon enough, they discover he's a crucial dude. Long before turning the lights out to their consciousness. As his performance value increased with his Wall Street, others were evaluating his stock as well. Soon from beneath the radar, additions a new team of prominent stars to the lineup. Business CEO manager Jay Prince, signing with the flagship of boxing promotions top-ranked Bob Arum. Yeah, a brilliant montage in meshing together the team metrics for building a prize fighter, huh? Think about how sweet the science really is. Greer Jr. isn't an Olympic medalist, nor did the roots of his boxing foundation cultivate from the stereotypical soil for harvesting the best fighters. Though it hasn't been an easy road travel for Greer Jr., in my media vehicle, let's crack the window for a brief drive-by on the night the world heard shots fired. Greer Jr. contended undefeated boxer James Smith in his own backyard. Yes, you heard it before. There has been many knockouts before, but World Combat Sports anchors March 2017, a very contentious lead up to the bout. It seems like Greer Jr. mental psyche gets these opposition out of focus. Smith energy, though, didn't resonate fear. He seemed overly assured this bout would be another marker to the green side of his ledger. During the bout, Smith coerced his bully enforcement effort, but it impaired his awareness to the brutish reality pending. Let's be clear, the fight was exciting, full of action, but the poise, the revelation of Greer Jr. boxing excellence registered the needle point of adjustments differently every round up to the knockout. As I stated earlier, of Greer Jr.'s flexibility to present a variety of different looks to his skill set. On this night, in the 8th round, he paced backwards from a forward pledging Smith, who at the time seeing Greer Jr. halt briefly back up against the ropes. Now, unfortunately for Smith, this is where his recollection ends. He was crushed by a counter right hand, beautifully timed by Greer Jr., a cerebral setup. I would tell anybody, composure is everything during the challenge and controversy in the sport of boxing. Those who are blessed with it is a gift like no other. If you haven't already turned up and tuned in, you may want to let your fingers do the walking and checking out this Bantamweight Bruiser. One of the best technically skilled boxers on deck in the sport today. Greer Jr. campaign is exceptional. No specific fighter of old to compare him, but his unlimited potential will indeed leave him in the company of boxing elites. Thank you everyone for tuning in. This is World Combat Sports. Be sure to follow me on all social media outlets. Facebook, IG, Twitter. Salute.